allowed to do this. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego politico, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't the politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
You've heard that millions of times.
Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary.
Share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them Mayegun today.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe àní Mayegun máa wí.
Things are happening very, very fast these days. Few weeks ago, we were talking about Sapa Merci bien. That is Sapa Journal. Lately, people are adjusting, they are adapting. We are beginning to hear Sapamalekun. All praise be to Sapa and so many other praises on Sapa these days as people are adjusting in Thiefnubu nomics.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Yes.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
What you have on your screen is what the people of Nasarawa collected as their own subsidy palliative from the government of palliatives, by the way.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Ladies and gentlemen, watching me from Nigeria, this is August. In another 2 months, it's going to be exactly a year that they released the Lagdo Dam by the Cameroonian authorities, right? Well, they have now put Nigeria on notice. They are going to release the dam again. The last time they did, you know all the stories, the yama nonsense, it was under Buhari. Becoming more dramatical in Nigeria, the governors from Nigeria, right, traveled to Kigali in Rwanda to go and discuss on how to handle foreign investors and how to govern a country. Nigeria governors, see their faces over there. So good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. I've got loads of gist for you tonight. A lot of them just to keep your conscious and subconscious mind active, well fed with the right information, so that when you found yourself in that kind of a state of state of confusion, like how did Nigeria get to this stage? All these little vital information are like water to water your consciousness and sort of prevent you from falling into the camp of the morons that are always deceived again and again. The moronic, army that are already becoming lunatics. And what do I mean by that? You know, there is a popular saying that if you do something again and again and again, and you are expecting a different result, Baba, you are actually mad. Those are the symptoms of madness. Now, for those who are deceiving people every now and then with different names of, all kind of deceit, manipulation. But if you are a regular on Mayegun's Diary Political, you are always a step, if no more, ahead of their supposed shippies. So you are welcome to the Temple of Truth, Mayegun's Diary Political, right? And it could have been our Sunday sermon, but it doesn't really matter. We can mix them together tonight. A recent update from the last horrendous, or should I say horrendous economic policies of Buhari under the same APC, egbekegbe. I'm talking about Nigeria losing over 50% of their own revenue source to oil smugglers, oil thieves. People came to Nigeria with big vessels, and they were loading 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day for 7 straight years, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, practically you can say they were lifting over 21 million barrels of Nigeria crude oil, and Nigeria government knew nothing about it for 7 years. Until election remained 7 weeks, then 7 days, they started discovering the ships that have been taking or stealing oil from Nigeria, but nobody knows their identity. Nobody knows these guys who have been stealing this oil, because why? The vessels were destroyed. Yeah, burned down on sea and all of that. A country that was losing 21 million barrels of crude oil every year, steadily, right, is not interested in finding out who was taking that crude oil and what are they doing to end it and stop such trade. No. Nigeria lost over 300 billion US dollars to those oil smugglers under Buhari. But guess what? It was the NNPC in charge. Now fast forward to 8 years after their ruinous, calamitious egbekegbe APC government under Buhari. Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world, the capital of the capital of the world jobless people. Yes, and then the world most terrorized people. We're like swimming in those new life depths. So you will think, right? Maybe it could have been an in-house work. So when a change of government happens, automatically there should be change of doing things. Abi? Change. Because the criminals who were in charge, who put this scheme together, they are still very much in charge. But they also need to play to the gallery for their own audience too. And what happened? Ribadu, the new NSA to Thiefnubu, was saying with the minister, the one they made the Minister of Defense, former Jigawa governor, as well as the one they made the Minister of Defense for states, former Zamfara governor, right? They were in River State to discuss oil theft in Niger Delta, right? I mean, some people were kind of, why were they not in Zamfara, where a whole local government has been taken over as gold mine and all that? I'll show you that one. That's what people were saying.
Na aka canta kilo Sagiru dan sagi shege ya san wuri mai kyau kenan.
That's a gold mine in Zamfara State, where thousands, if not tens of thousands of Zamfarans, they are digging for gold dust, which nobody knows where the gold ends. But that is not an excuse for what is going on in Niger Delta. They are unofficially stealing Nigeria crude oil, right? For 7 straight years. There's actually a vessel they caught which has been stealing crude oil for the past 12 years. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all you're going to hear about that. So when Ribadu jumped and the rest of them to show that they are now ready, Nigeria, the almighty Nigeria, with nearly the biggest naval force in Africa, but unable to secure our own waterway. Okay? Of course, they can secure it, but you know the corruption behind it. We have had an occasion whereby the crude oil that came to steal crude, the vessel that came to steal crude oil in Nigeria was being guided on Nigeria water, out of Nigeria water to the international water by the Nigerian Navy themselves. We have had occasions whereby Navy and those they call the pipeline vigilantes in Niger Delta have had clashes because the Nigerian Navy was guiding stolen crude oil. The oil militants, or what do you call them, the vigilantes for pipeline, they ran into them. Lack of communication or kind of a warning or what have you led to clashes whereby even people had to die. That's the situation of Nigeria. But because Nigeria, like Nigerians too, all right, who have kind of sublet their thinking or their own kind of a job to other people. So what happened? Nigerian forces or military, whatever, just exist for existence sake. But when it comes to where the Nigerian main wealth, source of forex comes from, the laxity of security there, to the point that Nigeria now relied on the former militants of Niger Delta to help them protect whatever they can protect of Nigeria crude. Nigeria was bleeding, still bleeding. And cut the long story short, the same Nigeria, which has already been proven as well that the reason why Koolu is more kind of going to invade Niger Republic is no other reason than the fact that the contract of lifting Nigeria crude oil, laying the pipeline from the Niger Delta region, southern Nigeria, straight into the desert, passing through Niger, then to other countries, to Morocco, and then to Europe. Because the idea was that the Nord Stream pipeline, which happened to be the source of, energy supply, what do you call it, gas, fuel, and all that, to Europe from Russia, right? So which they believe has made Russia to hold, that kind of economic, strength against many of the sanctions that they kind of thrown their ways in the last 1.5 years, okay? So the idea was Nigeria is a big place. So the idea of let's build the pipeline from Nigeria, including the gas pipeline. It's not just crude oil pipeline they are building. No. They are building gas pipeline direct from the source. And the two biggest gas producing states in Nigeria today, apart from crude oil, right? There are two, Imo and Abia. You see these two states, the idea to tap theirs and then, kind of a pipe it down to Europe is one of the reasons why Koolu is kind of sold to the idea of invading Niger. But anyway, back to that same Nigeria. There's already a pipeline being laid that's also going to pass through Niger. This one is for crude oil. So if Niger junta somehow decided that the pipeline can pass through their country, so that is going to be like an economic setback for those who wanted to boycott Russia for Africa. You get that? But meanwhile, back home in Nigeria, where the oil thieves are still very much in business. Of course, the story about them catching vessels that, that stole crude oil from Nigeria and the whole destruction and all of that, they are just by the drama. However, when Ribadu got to River State yesterday, in their conversation, he came back to say, in fact, they had a clip, I'll show you that, okay? So yeah, he came back to say, well, Nigeria is still losing 400,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Now, maybe as a politician, they love to just drop numbers without thinking. But what he is practically saying is that since they came in as the National Security Advisor of Nigeria, with the record, with the facts, with the security report and facts before him, 400,000 barrel of Nigeria crude oil is being stolen. And that means between May and August, if you begin to add them up and that continues, that means Nigeria will be losing 12 million barrels of crude oil to oil thieves every year. Okay? So that would just be like a drop down from 21 to 22 million barrels being lost to oil thieves under Buhari. So by that, I believe it is just something that just dropped, but I kind of would have to go along with is the National Security Advisor. It didn't just drop numbers. So who are those who are now opening the sea for them to the point that it is so easy to lift 400,000 barrels of crude oil from Nigeria every day? Questions. Probably you will never get the answer, or you can always call them the rhetorical questions. Who opened the door? The same people who are telling us that Nigeria is still bleeding and it's going to get worse. We'll go to River State a bit. When he met with the governor, and that one was like, one of the problems was that you awarded the security contract to one man. What happened to Nigeria Navy? What happened to Nigeria military? What happened to Nigeria DSS and the rest of them? What exactly are they doing? What's their job? They are chasing the supposed political enemies of the people who have made governance so kind of, it looks like a rocket science. Before we go to the River States, may I say something? Nigeria is a very, very funny place that the worst of the worst, have always been in charge of the country. They have made governance look like it is not that easy. It is a rocket science. Yeah? When it's so obvious that the only problem is lack of accountability, lack of responsibility on their part, then corruption, which kind of fuel their own greed and the rest of that to look away. Why things really get worse? Let me give you an example. Nigeria has it's one of the countries with the best weather. Nigeria can actually grow their own food all year round. You know what's called all year round farming? It's applicable to Nigeria, right? From the north to the south. People are so poor because people are not, they are not allowed to farm. That alone is should be a national emergency. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, that spends billions and billions on procuring different weapons. But yet, the more they buy, the higher or the worse the insecurity gets. But look at it this way. If Nigeria knows, like the criminals in Nigeria, what would it cost them, right? So number one, in order to curb insecurity, at first, you must be ready to punish offenders, okay? You don't open door. Listen to this, so you don't invest billions in weapons to combat crime and terrorism. Then on the other hand, you opened another avenue and you called it repentant terrorists can walk in. So who are you deceiving? So imagine if a country like Nigeria genuinely invest in real drones. I'm talking about the geo mapping drones that can actually map the locations of these criminals, and a coordinated, concerted, real effort will be put towards it, and a mop-up operation can mop them up at once. Not just that, and that same process of mopping them up, we then screen them. That's the first start. Screen them and know those who are actually criminals and those who are manipulated to be part of it, and what have they done. And according to their crimes, execute them. Those ones that will die by hanging, those that will die by firing squad, those that will die by lethal injection, and those that would spend the rest of their lives in a special prison built by you. Now, when you have that mechanism in place, everybody knows where they are going. For instance, when Guantanamo Bay was still Guantanamo Bay, remember, anyone arrested by American forces in any part of the world accused of being a terrorist, they know where they are going to end. Now, when you have something like that, that means you are telling them you have zero tolerance for terrorism. Anybody who kidnapped anybody, whether in the north or in the south, anywhere, in the name of anything, if you kidnap anybody, you have committed an act of terrorism. Now, when people kind of know that system like that, where prosecutors, the lawyers that will, if they ever have to present any lawyer, the lawyers that will represent them would know that the crimes they have committed by the law of Nigeria, they are going to get sentenced. But if they have any deal or whatever you want to give to them, like a system that kind of work, and then you genuinely invest in agriculture after bringing safety in, does that require a rocket science? Does that require any rocket science? Okay. You have a dwindled, or I can't even say a dwindling economy, already dwindled. Unemployment at the highest, poverty at the highest. Now, you can't cook figures to wish them away. You have to actually use the real figures, which should ordinarily motivate you in ending what you believe has become a national malaise, or what's it called? Anyway, Nigeria have one singular forex earning resources, and a resource rather, and that is crude oil. Now, you know this. Over the years, the corruption in the oil sector has kept Nigeria economy crippled and poor. In case if you are not telling yourselves that, the money you get from the oil royalty, it doesn't take rocket science, okay, to reinvest them in your own people, so that the multiplier effect of that is going to be a better standard of living, that you can say, thank God that they have oil. But in Nigeria, it is a curse. What is a rocket science about protecting and then prosecuting, especially prosecuting the criminals who have made it their own life job in that Nigeria, stealing Nigeria crude oil? Does that take a rocket science to invest in security that actually nip that and all other corruption associated with it? And just if you can cut it down by more than 60-70% alone and reinvest that same money in your people, in infrastructure, does that take a rocket science to do? But corruption, wishful thinking, like we wish they could do that too. But you know they won't, right? So the story is, some people still have the wherewithal, they still have the resources to lift 400,000 barrels of crude oil out of Nigeria. I mean, that is a 12 million barrels a year. So 12 million barrels at $80 per barrel. Baba? No be 80 million, I be 800 million be that. I be 8 billion. You see the problem? Help me with that. But let's go to Rivers State, where Fubara hosted Ribadu before they went on excursion.
So for we in this state, before this time, we were one of the first states that were able to break the ranks of bunkering. My predecessor had a special team then. We funded them, and we gave this cabal a very serious run for their business at that time. And we are not even lowering the bar. Right from the president in office, I've also sustained that committee. We give him all the necessary support, and he's been giving us results on this area. So we are really, really working to see that this issue is really brought down. But the truth has to be said. What brings all this wahala? Unemployment and poverty. But who are the big people in this business? They are not people here. They are those people in Abuja who have these licenses, who do this exploitation. It's not my people here. So if those people in Abuja are not encouraging it, I don't think the business will flourish. That's the truth. Security of pipeline and all those stuff should not be given to one man or one person to say, look, you're going to handle somebody from Calabar to come and control what is happening in Obebema. It's not possible now. Somebody from Obebema to come and control what is happening in Ogoni. You can understand that there's no way to work. We need to calm down, look at it in such a way that we bring in all these people, all these communities, their heads, or whatever you want to call them. Those people you're dealing with in this other end, but look for the anchor people that can really talk to them, people that can influence you already know, I don't want to mention it. Once we're able to catch them and make them part of the process, there is no two ways about it. It will on its own just go down.
We believe that it is time to do the right thing. And we are going to do it. A lot of you have done extremely well, particularly people who are on the ground, the government, those who are directly with the people. When we acknowledge that. NMPs have done extremely well as well. And we recognize that. And we are grateful. Same thing with our military. We are coming in to add to whatever that is ongoing, to even do it better. We want to give you the assurance that the federal government, and indeed the president, is with you, and we are all with you. We will work. We will do whatever it takes to secure your people and the resources that is in this country. I mean, this part of Nigeria.
The nation needs to secure its assets. And for that reason, we have the joint team that are responsible for providing security around our assets to visit these assets, both aerial view and facility visit, to see the challenges and indeed see how to resolve most of the security issues around our installations.
Government is talking about cartel. Government is talking about sharing the security contracts among other people, because you can't expect somebody from Kalabari to come and be protecting the pipeline in Ogoni. You don't expect somebody from, you get, that's government too. That's how they run government in Nigeria. The whole bragging of government is all lies. And when government talk about cartel, just know that they are the cartel. Look at them there. It's called change of guard. They are discussing Nigeria's most valuable resources. The one that was supposed to rescue and save Nigeria from these ruins. But look at the discussion. We will walk. Soldiers were sitting down there. Did you see them? Soldiers, generals. Generals where they work out with walking sticks. Nigeria generals. If you want to show that you are a general in Nigeria, you need a walking stick so that you can walk like that. And then that's how they sit together with terrorists. That's how they sit together with other economic saboteurs. Here you get the Nigeria thing. They are discussing. It's like Saudi Arabia, going to discuss those who are stealing their crude oil, okay? And they now have to meet with the regional, what do you call them? The regional militant leaders, like the ISIS. The ISIS, meet them and say, okay, you ISIS, we want you to be protecting our water. ISIS, we want you to protect our pipeline. And then they turn around and say, well, because we know that some cabals are very powerful. We are the ones in charge now, so we want you to go ahead and... Like, what kind of a country is that? Like, how could you sit down and then tell yourself that Nigeria is going to be great one day with these characters? There is more film. It's just that this particular clip of theirs is not the first time for those who have actually seen this before. Buratai Debucha, some other service chiefs, and some other dramatic personnel, right? They have visited Niger Delta on many occasions. In fact, at a point under Buhari, they were discovering illegal refineries in Niger Delta where people they cook crude oil. Hey, silly people. People are like they are like soaked with crude oil, that black crude oil all over their body. And they are there with their drums. You know, their drums everywhere. Then they cook crude oil. Like I said that they cook palm oil. Under Buhari, go online, go on social media. Go on Google right now and search for it. Illegal refineries in Niger Delta. Now, Buhari people, something that this guy is also doing to make it look like they are working. At the end of the day, after all that show off, now 700,000 barrels Nigeria was losing. Nigeria was losing 45,000 to 50,000 barrels of crude oil every day until these criminals took over in 2015. Nigeria was producing 1.8 million barrels of crude oil every day until this guy came in 2015. Immediately they came in 2015. Nigeria's daily production started dwindling, started reducing, until it got to 800,000 barrels a day. At a point, because Nigeria couldn't meet up at the OPEC quota, at a point, Nigeria crude oil in different vessels, they were just floating all over the Atlantic Ocean, looking for who to buy them. Go and Google what I just told you now. Nobody wanted to buy Nigeria crude oil. 2020, go and Google it. That was how ridiculous they destroyed the everything. But what they did in place of that is that as Nigeria lost production, the criminals who were stealing Nigeria crude oil, they expanded. They grew their own production. They are stealing from 45,000 barrels a day to over 700,000 barrels a day. Do you know what that means? 700,000 barrels a day. I can't do wrong calculation, Baba. More take them down. When they were stealing 700,000 barrels a day, for a month, that's 21 million barrels. 21 million barrels of crude oil stolen from Nigeria every month. 21 million times 10, 210 million. 210 million plus 40, 42. That's a 252 million. Nigeria was losing 252 million barrels of crude oil every year to thieves under APC, egbekegbe, for 7 years. They say it don't reduce to 400,000. Now, with that 400,000 a day, that is 12 million barrels of crude oil stolen from Nigeria every month. About every year, last song, 12 million times 10. 120 million. 12 million times 2, 24. Abi, oje 144 million barrels of crude oil. They will be stealing under these criminals even more. But yeah, the dramas like 2015, when they went.
Where so much money is spent to build.
Attitude to Tantita has been commissioned, by NNPC, to be able to do some work. But we need to do a lot more. And I believe that in the next few days, next few weeks.
So did you see that? And they kept referring to the real criminals led by that Kiari standing next to him. And they kept saying, thanks to NNPC. We are grateful to NNPC with what they have done. Thank you, NNPC, scripted and all that. It's just a drama. After what you saw there, business continua. Unfortunately. So talking about if they really wanted to help the people genuinely and not after when they are kind of compelled to, not really anyway. But you heard that news of, or probably I should just remind you of the killed 36 personnel of Nigerian military and Nigeria Air Force. Yeah, and a kind of a rescue helicopter, a rescue chopper also crashed. All that happened in Niger State. Yes, in Nigeria. Now, the victims have been buried, according to reports out there. Then afterward, they said Nigerian military went back to that Niger State. And remember when their governor said, Niger State has the highest demography of the traveling or journeying Fulani terrorists. And they don't want any military action in Niger State. That they will talk to them. They call them bandits. And all that, blah, blah, blah. Baba, there is a video. That video was yesterday. And even though people have questions, so in case if you see the video too, you may have questions too. The soldiers said they have disarmed some of the bandits, the terrorists in Niger State, and they were waiting to move them to God knows where. Some people are saying, are all of these terrorists? Yes. Or are they victims? Are they kidnapped victims who are just caught when the soldiers came? I'll show you the video. Then we'll talk about it afterward. All right? This was Niger State.
If you like, they do like school entire bush. Come up for that road. Shift. Carry yourself. Open that road. Open the road like this. Straight. If I meet you there. Open and good anya. Just open and carry yourself. Come up for road. Open and like this. Straight. Move like this. Straight like. Enter one side. Fulani Daji. Where Baba? Baba? Baba kaje Fulani Tarama Daji. No, town, gonna bush. Where you picking, Baba? Where that pressman? Only. Only who can himself come back.
Go there,
Say go that place. See get what you in the snap.
Huh?
The other camp. See get what you in the snap.
They don't snap. They don't snap.
Kai, come out for this thing.
Did you see that? I don't know if it was just me. At a point, I was like this on that screen, like, that. I was like making different faces. I wish you could see my face. So, a lot of you have questions. I told you, I said, when you see the video, you're going to have a lot of questions too, right? Like, is that the entire village they parking is in the bush? And they kind of paraded them as the bandits. Are those innocent people that Nigeria just happened to, whereby they will kind of declare all of them guilty before, like so many questions. Or are those real bandits from Niger State? If that is the number of bandits that the Nigerian soldiers was able to mop up, I swear, that means there is a bigger problem than you can think. Some people are asking, where are their guns? Where are their bikes? And other questions you are asking, I get it. I also have questions too. And that is why I'm sharing that with you. Because the Nigerian military recorded the video and uploaded it. So many questions. If that is the number of terrorists they have been able to put together from a single state, a single local government, that much. You know why I'm saying this is that if they should be who they said they are, can you even imagine the level of orientation and conviction that made them to pick up that line of terrorism in the first place? Do you imagine the kind of orientation that kind of encouraged that number of young people to be bandits and terrorists as they have been presented? If they are, we are talking about millions of terrorists, young people. If you begin to put the numbers together, that is a problem. If you add this one to it, the day they say, okay, they want to go and do what they are doing in Niger Delta, protecting the resources of Nigeria for the benefit of Nigerians, like Ribadu and Co. went to Rivers State to do, right? So maybe one day if they decided to go to this place, imagine the number of them they would have to arrest doing this illegality in Zamfara.
Kilo. Sagiru dan sagi. Shege ya san wuri mai kyau kenan. Kun ga yadda aka hatuwa da gara mai sallasu guntattaki.
Ba mu ba da kuɗi mu fashe da bashi waccan allaka.
Wace allaka?
A to shi kenan sai in bashi gara.
Ya rere. Kai, ra'o ba. Da ba ta kai raba. Ra'o ba ka kai.
See that? That is like a whole town gone. to illegal miners. So when they decided to go and do something there, do you know I mean, like, scary stuff, yeah? Well, you can say that again. Some got the palliatives from APC, egbekegbe. They got rice, they got beans, and they got vegetable oil. Even though they got slapped, they got beaten, pushed by the police where they were trying to collect it. That one is better. The picture of what they sent from Nasarawa, ladies and gentlemen, it was like they were counting the spaghetti. Abi? Like, okay, oh yeah, 5 people will share one pack. Oh yeah, let's count it. Some of you got your own in bottles, your own vegetable oil, cooking oil. This is what they gave them in Nasarawa. Palliative of 5 billion naira. Nasarawa no pass by yourself. But Nasarawa people, Sapa merci bien. I don't understand Hausa, but I know you know that Sapamalekun is like welcoming Sapa to say, at least we are alive. Yeah, there is this particular song that came to me, that actually comes to mind. You know, some have mouth, but they can't eat. I have mouth and I can eat. Some have nose, they can breathe. I have nose, but I can breathe. You know what I mean? So that's the situation in that part of Nigeria today. They say, you know, they just welcome it. They say, Sapamalekun. They say, you know, Walaikum salam abibao. The Alumajiri system that they have now nationalized in Nigeria, a lot of you are still lucky. Even though there are others who are carrying bags in that part of northern Nigeria too, okay? In fairness, so. But what do they want to make them do with that one? Well, it is what it is. Others are saying that, you know, say, Alpha Baba, say, well, Baba, oh, Shakpa be praised, though. Yeah, have you never heard that one? Where people will say, like, oh, Baba, praise be to Shakpa, new. Say, but how come you can't be like this? I mean, now you look kind of, you know, you look depressed, you look, you know, where all of us, they diagnose ourselves, right? So, but why do you look so kind of, you look worried? Oh, Baba, praise be to Shakpa Dari. If you did this in Nigeria, you will understand why everybody is frowning. You understand why everybody is kind of almost angry. I mean, the anger seems to have been subsiding right now when a lot of you don't really see much traffic that could get you much angrier now. There's so much that Shakpa has done to the people of Nigeria, including some of us outside Nigeria too, who are also feeling the wind, trying to kind of blow it back. You know what I mean? So yeah, people are kind of gisting about it somewhere, and I picked that up. I was like, what's in Sapamalekun? What in all praise be to Shakpa or Shakpa be praised? Which one is I know about you know, Shakpa merci bien. Shakpa merci bien is like saying, Shakpa John now, please now. Take it easy, Lord. Take it easy on me now. You know that kind of situation where you be like, oh, mom, what's I'll do? I wish you what you wish yourselves. So we woke up this morning. Okay, I woke up this morning, just like Athiefku, also kind of tweeted. He said, somebody said Shakpanomics. Now, if you call it Shakpanomics or you call it Thiefnubunomics, you are still going to be right. If your teacher or your lecturer set up a sort of a question and says, asks that describe Nigeria economy in one word, 50 marks. So all you have to say is that Nigeria economy can be simply described as Thiefnubunomics or Shakpanomics. I mean, people who knows, and it's more, I'll tell you the truth though. Now, person where you concerned, now them feel explain to you, but well, that's just by the way. So Athiefku said he woke up this morning and he was wondering, he said he was confused. Kilo Athiefku to were confused. It was because somehow Athiefku has come across something that is keeping to his chest about Thiefnubu. I have told you, I am not sure if that's going to make any kind of a difference at all. But at least for the sake of those of you who are political history students, some of you are like, I'm a political science, other of you are studying political science. And every other thing that has to do with history, whatever Athiefku is cooking, I can bet it, even if it doesn't remove Thiefnubu from Abuja, ladies and gentlemen, it is worth smelling. The Empress, thank you very much, oh. That's very kind of you. And I haven't seen you in a while. Maybe I haven't seen much of your comments, by the way. So are you doing well, ma? Happy Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, so Athiefku woke up and Athiefku said he's confused and he hoped that all Nigerians will be confused too. Kilo confused Athiefku. Thiefnubu again, because Athiefku didn't go back to Dubai this time around. You know, usually when things are done like this, after Athiefku will go back to his base in Dubai until the next election. But somehow, Athiefku didn't go to Dubai this time. In fact, he had to drag Koolu to American courts. By the way, on the side though, the Agbadorians and the rest of them are celebrating this image. I'll tell you something about this image, yeah? So you see this lady, this American on the left, right? Came to deliver, according to them, came to deliver Joe Biden's message to Thiefnubu in Nigeria, okay? So she happened to be an assistant deputy secretary of state. I don't know what that means by rank, but whatever that means, she's just there to deliver a message to Koolu. And from that message, which I believe has already been tweaked or twisted, they said Joe Biden sent that woman to Koolu and said, please, Koolu, Joe, when you come to America next month for the UNGA meeting, that is a United Nations General Assembly meeting, or what is it called? UNGA. That Joe Biden was when you come to America for UNGA next month, please, I beg you, I want to talk to you on the side before that people, and you are the only one I want to talk to from Africa. That's the message. That's what they said. And you know Joe Biden himself and Koolu, they are two ancestors somehow. But somehow people will be like, Baba, no, don't ever compare Joe Biden with Koolu. It's like insulting ancestors. Okay, anyway, I'll leave you to it. That's the woman Joe Biden sent to say he wants to speak to Koolu on the side of UNGA meeting in New York. Please don't say no, please. That's what they said. They said, please don't say no. And in that same America, Athiefku and his own lawyer, they are dragging America University, Chicago State University. They are dragging them. They are dragging American judicial system. They are dragging Koolu. All of them, they are dragging their Koropon right now in the US. And that's when Athiefku woke up this morning, he said he was confused. Kilo for confusion. They discovered that maybe we are debating whether one is fake, whether one is original, whether kiniko or being kokon, waiting Athiefku can't find out in America that they wanted the Chicago State University to, on record, legally, to be the ones to give them those information. But they already don't get some certain things. Say, it is either Thiefnubu use Ori Olori, and this Ori Olori they used of this young girl called Bola A. Tinubu. She was a girl. Here you get. So it's either Koolu used Ori Olori afterward, because there's so many things wrong, right? They wanted the Chicago State University to tell them, because in that your form, that Bola A. Tinubu, she's an American. She's a girl, an American. This Shongolere Thiefnubu, there's nowhere he stated that he is an American or he became an American in any of his record. Nowhere. So, Thiefnubu is an American that they mixed up his sex way back in 1975. Or Thiefnubu just kind of took Ori Olori, adopted somebody else's identity, and he just ran with it. Yeah? So, Athiefku said in 1999, when Koolu filled his INEC form to contest for governor of Lagos State, in that form, Koolu said he went to St. John Primary School, Aroloya, in Lagos. After that, he went to Children Home School in Ibadan. After that, he went to Government Boys. I see the names. Hang on. Yeah, Children Home School in Ibadan. After that, he said he went to Government College Ibadan. Government College Ibadan. From Government College Ibadan, Thiefnubu said he then moved on to, what will be that name again? Richard Daley College in America. Then that Richard Daley College later changed to Chicago State University. So which means all this record that Thiefnubu filled in 1999 to contest election, Ganifawa traced all of them. They say everything are fake. There was never any school called St. John Primary School, Aroloya in Lagos. There was no school called that. Never. There was no school called Children Home School Ibadan. No school called that. So in 2023, the same Thiefnubu, when he filled his INEC form, Thiefnubu now removed primary school, secondary school, and he just filled Chicago State University. He no go primary, he no go secondary, he just go university. That was what is confusing Athiefku. And he had to wake up this morning to express that confusion. Like, me, I never seen this kind of confusion before. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, remember, Athiefku and Thiefnubu know themselves very well. Okay? I wish I could tell you the mechanites, the articulated moguls, articulated fraudsters, articulated scammers, articulated manipulators, Athiefku looters. I wish I could tell you that a lot of you should take it easy on yourselves whenever you jam the Lagos Sabobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the crump eaters, crump chasers, ass lickers, all risers. When you jam all these Buhari Deans, Buhari Diderins, Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungozi Aris, the Uneka Aris, everybody, Batidiot you meet, when two of you clash, instead of fighting yourselves, your masters, they are esprit the cause. They are friends. If Athiefku is confused, then something is cooking. That's what I mean. Something is cooking. Chike, thank you. As usual, right? Marking the register. It seems that my people are becoming generous again tonight. Thank you very much for that. I also have this super chat from Ismaila Saka. God bless you, Baba. Thank you. Right? So once in a while, people feel that generous. But you know something, guys? I know not everybody will kind of come on when I do this. But usually, those who love Mayegun always come on to do what I'm about to tell you. All right? Remember that Mr. Lukman that we paid for his medical operation recently. And we told you that we actually really wanted to rehabilitate him, set him up. I usually advise my friends that if you have anything you want to give me sometimes, I would advise you just keep them and send them through the PayPal. You can gift them to all of the projects and the people that this platform, including that of Yoruba Union, has been supporting. I so much appreciate you all the way, okay? Like that thought of, like, turning on your YouTube, and you want to listen to Mayegun, then you are not just doing that, you pick up your own bank card. I mean, I don't know how to kind of tell you how that feels for somebody like me. So I do appreciate that. But when you help me help people, that kind of make me a lot happier. Please. So I'm planning to bring that Mr. Lukman up on Mayegun's Diary Political this week. I've been saying that for the past 2 weeks. And the leadership of the union, they are probably not happy with me. Yeah? But please, I'm just saying, right? I don't want to be a beggar that has a choice. But at the same time, I would love it. Yeah, every pound, every dollar, every penny, right, that you give towards the project of helping other people means so much to me. I mean, it gives me kind of a sound sleep. So I appreciate that. Ismail Asaka, God will help me bless you. And thank you. And to everyone else who is feeling generous tonight, thank you as you do tonight. So thank you. Now let's continue. So we are talking about Athiefku's surprise. So Athiefku knows Thiefnubu very well. Thiefnubu knows Athiefku very well. And it is just like a situation of a 6 or half a dozen. They are just the two sides of the same coin, if you ask me. Others will tell you, oh no, Athiefku is better. Right. Now they are now saying that Athiefku is coming. Like, he actually tweeted that today, and it got people talking. Athiefku is coming. And they're like, Athiefku is not coming, Jog Bagbe. No be person will get erection. Go get to the stage of climax, isn't it? When you get erection, then you get to the climax, then you come. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. You know, when they start singing, Athiefku is coming, because Athiefku says something about whatever he's cooking in America. So they started singing, I am coming, I am coming, are you coming, I am coming. It's like Athiefku singing, I am coming, and the people are saying, are you coming, I am coming, are you coming, I am coming. Papa, na person will get erection, go they come. Remember that 25% of FCT is still a problem. That is what has made it illegitimate for Thiefnubu to be parading himself as president of Nigeria. Remember? Legitimacy. 25% Abuja. I mean, seriously. That is the election. They now waiting, they make Peter Obi. They get Bona be that. It is like the Bona. PDP APC. They couldn't get the 25% in Abuja. But Peter Obi that got the 25%. Look at him. Everywhere is like that. They say, but you this guy, I thought you came third. How can somebody who come third be asking that he should be declared? This is unbelievable. Why is it unbelievable? Now the guy will get born be that. That's the guy that should be singing, I am coming, I am coming, I am coming, are you coming, I am coming. So when you see the obedience singing, Obi is coming. Maybe Obi is coming. Like legally, they won't saw, like, legally, they'll say, a person will get the boner, they come. Get boner. Without flat slippers. No legitimacy. Even, you know what I mean? Like, where you they come to? Come where? Anyway, I saw that and I was like, okay. Maybe Athiefku's confusion is confusing others too. And others were like, shut up your mouth. You this Athiefku. You this corrupt. They are fighting themselves. I'm like, why are you fighting yourselves? Sangbeto atisumonu. Iko gbekon bi owu jango. Anyway. I saw that. I told you I've got a lot of gist for you tonight. Okay, so yeah, that's one of them. And it was really, really crackling, right? It was cracking. It's like, you know, I mean, Nigerians, are you not confused? Athiefku was asking Nigerians, are you not confused? And the Nigerians are like, Baba, shut up your mouth. Go away. We don't want you. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the coincidence here is that in September, 21st of September, that's when the American court is going to probably tell us who Thiefnubu was and is. And whatever that's going to do to the rest of Nigeria, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. But that is kind of something to look forward to, especially this week. Okay? So going forward, meanwhile, hang on, no. If I ask that, have you liked this broadcast, what would be your answer? Would you say yes or no, not yet, Mayegun? Oh, let me go and do it. Okay, take a moment and like the broadcast, okay? It is Sunday sermon where I can speak my mind, you know? It was meant to be our sermon, right? So talking about legitimacy, when some people were saying that, how come people are not supporting Thiefnubu or even listening to his arguments on why it is important that democracy must be in Niger Republic? Like, why are you not listening to him? Say, no, we're not listening to him. Oh, how could somebody who rigged an election, somebody who violated electoral rule and what have you, how could somebody like that talk about democracy? You guys are murdering democracies in your country. In your different countries, right? I mean, it's kind of, you know, it doesn't make sense. Like somebody where they do full-time professional call woman, like, you know, call girls to start counseling you about marriages, how to stay in marriages and the rest of that. I mean, you can be a trained counselor and still be a hooker and all that, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't match. Or you get somebody will be, I'll give you another example. You know, you violated every democratic norm. You rigged an election that has divided the country even more. And then you are the advocate of democracy. Like, I don't understand. But you know, it is what it is, right? So some people are saying, why are people not listen? I say, well, people won't listen to somebody they never actually elected. Not in a free and fair election and all that. Okay? But somebody was kind of saying other things too. You know, like when people can't read the room, when people were supposed to be leaders are actually not leaders, they are dealers. And they don't think about the consequences of their actions and all that. Then it is more than just the well, should I say it is more or less like the illegitimacy being taken too far, kind of, right? I'm coming, I'll share this one with you. I'm still going to take you to Cameroon again and tell you, all of you who suffered the flooding from last year, released the Lagdo Dam, you are going to suffer the same thing again this year. And I hope you are going to be prepared. I'll be one of those to warn you. I'm not a weatherman. But a letter from Cameroon said they are about to release the dam again. When they do, millions, if not billions of your properties and possibly lives are also going to be lost. But we'll come back to that. Let's go to this Arise television studio.
Not policies thrown on her by the World Bank, the Bretton Woods, and the IMF. And for as long as our leaders, I had the incumbent president a few days ago saying that he's under pressure to go to war in Niger. If you emerge through a credible electoral process, you don't need pressure to ask Nigerians to do what is right. If your electoral victory, quote unquote, were proper, right and right, fair and just, all you need to do is hop into the Nigerian presidential aircraft and go to Niger and negotiate with the people. But because you lack the moral nexus to so do, because you lack the credibility to so do, because you lack the capacity on account of how you emerged to so do, Nigerians will look at you like I don't know how verified the statement is from Burkina Faso, that they know who actually won the last election, so you don't have the right to tell them or school the world on democracy. So I think that's where I agree with my brother and friend. African leaders must ensure that they emerge through honorable processes. African leaders must ensure that democracy means truly what it is. A government of the people, as defined by Abraham Lincoln, for the people and by the people. And when we truly dish and deal service to the people, then we can, as it were, emerge not only as leaders of the West African sub-region, not only as leaders of the Sahel region, but leaders of Africa, because we're the most populous country in Africa. But I think that what we're doing today is a call to the conscience of our nation, a call to the conscience of the political leaders, a call to the conscience of our people, and indeed, a new generation that are saying that things must be done rightly. I believe that if we have leaders that are responsible and responsive to the people, if we have leaders that are Afrocentric and African-centered, if we have leaders who are pan-African and pan-Nigerian, then sooner rather than later, the global organizations that care and that are sincere will come cutting us. But until that is done, a place in the United Nations Security Council is like a wait for Godot. Seeking for a place in the BRICS is like a wait for Godot. And I want to say very strongly as we go on with this conversation that the time has come for us to move away from populism to patriotism and nationalism. We need leaders who will care and not. Let me chisel this home. My brother talked about the fuel subsidy. All over the world, in Britain, in the United States of America, in Germany, farmers and farming is subsidized. All over the world, largely energy is subsidized. Why is the IMF and the World Bank telling us that the way out of the morass is subsidy? I think that what leaders must do in Africa, and indeed this country, is to curb corruption. If I tell you what corruption goes on in the oil sector, you will know that the solution to our problem is not in the removal of subsidy, but in the curbing of corruption. Trillions of dollars, trillions of naira are stolen by people who are protected by the state, are stolen by people who are protected by the PDP, the APC, and those who politic with our collective destiny. The way out of the morass is to check corruption, not increasing poverty for the masses of our people and making lives better for the rich. That's the way to go. We must be African-centric and pan-Nigerian in leadership.
And on like that. We must be honest. We must be sincere to ourselves. Except that, we can continue to dance to our own surugede. The song of the music of the gods that nobody understands. Have you read that they have rejected Nigeria from joining BRICS? You probably have been hearing about BRICS. BRICS. Brazil, Russia, and then what? Anyway, Sha. These are supposed to be the countries outside the what do you call the dollar economy, which has given dollar the strength for so long. So these countries are coming together with their own economic sizes, right? And then they wanted to trade among themselves. Okay, so whereby they can trade in their own currencies or any other choosing currency apart from dollar, so that the prosperity of these countries can be shared. Out of the plan of the BRIC nations, right, is that they wanted to industrialize their member states that needed to be up to the standard of other members. Like, it's just like sharing of, kind of wealth. And Nigeria sent a shitty man to Russia. He went on to meet with Putin, like other African leaders who went at the time. Then Nigeria got formally invited to that break, not asked to join, in one of those deliberations of, okay, Nigeria too, come. Then you can put in your own application to joining us. I think as a big country as Nigeria looks to be, and the supposed economy, despite corruption, that should be a very huge influence in that gathering of BRICS. And it's going to be a big blow, sidely, to America, a divided sort of loyalty, kind of. Nigeria, get out of here. We were talking about countries who have prospects, countries who have the capability, competence, and everything that it takes, right, to match head to head with all these countries, not a country with an illegitimate leadership. They rejected Nigeria application, but quickly, shitty man came out and said, oh, no, they didn't reject us. We did not apply to join them. We didn't apply. We didn't join them. We don't want to join BRICS. But it was in Russia. It was in South Africa. All of these are meetings of BRICS, making effort to join in them and see what they can get. Because their own intention of joining these organizations is to see how many of them can borrow them money. It's about what they can get from anywhere. They've got nothing to add. And you cannot go around and be kind of with your empty head, like, giant, the crippled giant of Africa. Everybody knows what is going on in Nigeria. Everybody does. The Nigerians, the other Africans, they know what is going on in Nigeria. And as it is still going to get to be, I hope America will be able to give Koolu the buffer it needs. And I bet America is very good at that. If he can also give them what they want, which I bet it will be more than glad to give. When America says jump, Koolu will not ask why. Koolu will only ask them, how high do you want me to jump? Remember, they said the issue of climate change, when they asked Koolu, Koolu said, don't let anybody kind of deceive you. Climate change is like a poisoned Holy Communion. That when the rat ate it in a church, you know what will happen? And we are not going to eat the poisoned Holy Communion. So Thiefnubu called climate change poisoned Holy Communion. If they want us to defend and be part of climate change, they must give us money. Money. So if you are talking about money from America and talking about climate change, the useless, corrupt Nigeria politicians would have something to share money on in the next couple of weeks, by the way. Because you know that Lagdo River or Lagdo Dam, the dam built by Cameroon, that has been wreaking havoc for years in Nigeria now. Every time the dam overflown and they need to release the water, when they release the water, millions of cubic or billions of cubic of something big, like ocean water released, will finally flood every home in more than 20 states in Nigeria, from the north straight down there to the creek, and straight right there to even as much as Osun State, Ibadan, Onyon River, and the rest of them will kind of receive all this water, and the damages will be monumental. Have always been monumental. But there's something. The Nigerian government will blame it on climate change. And I promise you this for free. When this flood takes charge of some of your states, your farms, destroy your crops and the rest of them, right now, they are already preparing the speech of climate change. America will give them money. And then you will have to what? You would have to bear your losses I hope you won't lose your lives or somebody around you losing their lives when the flood water comes. Here is a letter that has been sent to the Nigeria government to tell them, listen, the government of Cameroon, they are going to release the Lagdo Dam again. Remember the last time this happened, I said, imagine a country like Nigeria with responsible governments would have built a counter dam next, not far from that same Lagdo Dam, so that any kind of water they are releasing will be filling that Nigeria dam, and that dam can actually supply enough irrigation water. That dam water all year round, without any part of Nigeria suffering any flood or flooding. A government, a responsible government, would have built another dam along that line so that every water coming out of that Lagdo River into that Lagdo Dam, when they release them, they enter Nigeria Dam. You can call it Thiefnubu's Dam. You can call it Buhari Dam. It doesn't matter. But the water there will not only generate electricity for the people around the area, it will also serve as an irrigation point for them. You see all those desert areas that they said Fulani terrorists who wanted to come and kill us in southern Nigeria, who have been killing us. They said there is no grass in northern Nigeria. It's desert. That's why they are moving their cows to southern Nigeria and their guns, right? Now, to curb all this insecurity and this mass migration, you can save lives, you can create wealth, prosperity for the people of that part of northern Nigeria. I mean, sincerely, by investing in building one, a dam that can generate electricity as well as serve as an irrigation for farming, all year round. Win-win situation. But the last time they released the water is the picture on the left. On the right. Okay? Now, that picture on the right is what happened last year. The picture on the left is the letter sent to Nigeria government to inform them that they are going to release the water again. The last time they released the water, a minister under Buhari said that rainwater is a blessing from Allah. Listen to this.
Stories I've been seeing on social media, I just laugh because they are misleading. Lagdo Dam releases the flood, its contribution to flood in this country is only 1%. Sometimes they release water without notice, and when they do that, it has impact on communities downstream. But it is not the main reason why we have flood in this country. 80% of the flows in this country is water that we are blessed with from God from the sky. This year's flood, I can assure you, we cannot blame it on Cameroon, to be sincere. Whether we're able to do that in Hausa or not, we'll continue to have floods on the river Niger and Benue basins. We signed the MOU with Cameroonian authorities. But since then, believe me, every year, once the flood season comes, it is the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency that calls them. What is your level in Lagdo? What is your level? Even this one, they told us when he called them, when he saw that the rains were, I was communicating with the DG, NISA. I said, what's happening in Cameroon? He said he has been calling them. They said they have not released any water. But they said they will inform. They are the ones that should be keeping us informed on the basis of the MOU. They didn't. Finally, they said, okay, that they will inform us tomorrow. They didn't inform us. They informed us 24 hours after they had released the water. They did the same thing 2 years ago. And we had to write, I wrote to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Nigeria had to write a protest letter to the Cameroonian authorities that they did not inform us. It was after our rains had gone, then suddenly we saw flood in Adamawa area. And we realized, we're asking them for 2 weeks, they were denying that they had opened the reservoir. And of course it didn't go to the confluence, it was limited to the areas of Adamawa State, that was, and Taraba, because like I said, the contribution to the flood by Lagdo Dam is not so high. Stories I've been seeing.
As a minister, that was a minister of water resources under Buhari. They did not inform us. Cameroon did not inform us. Even though the water that is causing flooding in Nigeria is a blessing from Allah, that one is the water from above. Water Resources Minister in Nigeria. That's the kind of the crappy individuals that are manning sensible government institutions. It's the water from Allah that, and Cameroon did not inform us. They should inform us before they release the water, as if to say, when Cameroon tell them, we are going to release the water tomorrow, what are you going to do? You're going to gather people, and they're going to hold their hands like this, and they can hold the water. All of them go carry the Moses, staff, and they say, hey, you this water, stop there. Oh, yeah, form a fence. Thank you very much, Cameroon, for telling us that you are releasing this water. That's why we brought in our own magicians with the Moses staff. Abi? Say, hey! Oh, yeah, release the water. And they will release the water, and the water will just form a fence. They will not enter Nigeria. Mad people everywhere. Mad people everywhere, you say. Finex, LFC, thank you. I nearly missed your own super chat, by the way, so I had to bring it back up, so thank you very much. And same thing goes said to Olagbemi. He that builds a house with bricks of lies will live long enough to see it collapse. Or see its collapse. Nigeria has collapsed. Yoruba Kingdom will re-emerge. Definitely. Olagbemi 2023. I like that. Let it be on record in the diary as well. Bless you, by the way, for that your super chats. Right? Thank you. So yeah, they have now warned them, we are going to release the water. Call all your Moses staffs and all of them to come around, or begin to build whatever you want to. We are going to release the water. Now they have informed them 2 months before they will release the water. And it is just 2 months to the last terrible flooding that killed 25 people. I thought I should remind you, in case if a lot of people have died needlessly in Nigeria after that, Abi. Because even after that flooding, what happened next? Now, they killed 73 people in an election, a charade they call election. Do you remember now? Of course, that flood actually killed 25 people. And the amount of property destruction or the properties it destroyed will probably never be known. It is 2 months to the 1 year anniversary of that. And they are already telling your government, we are releasing the water again. Whoever is your water resources minister right now, he will be cooking whatever lie he's going to tell you. But I promise you this, when that time comes, I will be here for you, as usual. To say, oh, I'm so sorry about what happened. And then we'll remind them too that we knew it when Cameroon told them they would release the water sooner. From last year to this year, nothing has been done in order to prevent same thing happening again. Right? So, you see what I'm talking about? The more things change, the more they remain the same. There is a French for it. I forgot that French. Please, how many of you remember that French? Like, the more that things change, the more that remain the same or something like that. Sorry about that. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, the more things changes, the more they remain the same. It is like you are losing 700,000 barrels of crude oil every day under Buhari. This one came back to sale. Now 400,000 you they lose now. You get that? You had 40% unemployed Nigerians under Buhari. This ones came back and said they miscalculated it. Now only 4.1% of you no get job. Right? What else do you have there that you can actually tell that, it's just the, oh man. But when they asked that Athiefku during the campaign, actually said he was going to build a dam or something. At least he said something about the dam last year, I remember.
I wish to call on my friends and associates in the corporate world and in private capacities to join me in this cause. If elected as president in the presidential elections next year, I shall commit to completing the Dading Hausa Dam in Adamawa State to manage the releases of excess water from Lagdo Dam in the Cameroon Republic. I shall also commit to working with state governments like Bayelsa to build the required flood management infrastructure. A scholarship granted to the 2 children he has left behind. This scholarship will educate them up to university level. God bless them.
That was during the campaign. There is a project called Dasin Hausa. That project was supposed to be an irrigation project that would have Nigeria build a bigger dam in Adamawa, because Adamawa and Cameroon, they shared border too. Yeah, they share border. In fact, they said that, like, historically, by all whatever, Athiefku is a Cameroonian. Not that he's a Cameroonian like that, but he's a Cameroonian. Athiefku is from a place called Jada Abina Jaga. What is this place called again? Jaga Abi Jaga in Adamawa. And they said that space actually share borders with Cameroon, right? And if not because of the colonialists who redrew the map, that a part of that place is in Nigeria, other part is in Cameroon, just like Buhari is also from Niger Republic, in Papa na Kwekwe Yesela. So Buhari's papa, back then, you see what is today's Daura, is also a part that also kind of linked to Cameroon, to Niger Republic. So, Buhari's papa, where they sell a dog, Kwekwe, traveled from Niger Republic in 1930, I think it was 1931, come meet Saratu, Buhari's mama, for Daura. So if you go to Daura, where Buhari claimed to come from, Buhari's bedroom, Buhari's living room, the parlor, and the bedroom, that is Nigeria. If you go to the backyard to use the toilet inside Buhari's house, but you are no longer in Nigeria. If you can't go deeper, can't go into Buhari's farm, where in animals day, no be Nigeria, Niger Republic. And that was why Malamu came out and said, Athiefku is not Nigerian, he's a Cameroonian. And they actually used that in a campaign in 2019, that Athiefku is not from Nigeria. So Athiefku understands what the people of that border town suffers, especially in Adamawa, whenever those flood water are released. So Athiefku is very much in the know of the Dasin Hausa projects, which according to record, history actually was supposed to have started since 1983. Yes, you heard me right. 1983. That was when they have been thinking of building that dam. And they called it Dasin Hausa, to prevent any future flooding in Nigeria and save the farmers, their crops, and their everything. Save them from that yearly flooding. Since 1983. Before Athiefku left custom, before Athiefku became vice president of Nigeria for 8 years from that same Adamawa state. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it. They didn't do it. Buhari, who also came from that same part of Nigeria, didn't give a damn. So Athiefku knows that if they had built that Dasin Hausa, by now, a lot of lives would have been saved, a lot of properties would have been saved, a lot of things would have been saved, generally. But corruption, bad leadership, incompetent leadership, and so many other things coupled to it, left Nigeria in 21st century, 2023. Nigerians are waiting for what's going to happen in October again. We are talking about it. Koolu won't even say anything about it. Does he even know? Does he? No idea. E82. Thank you very much for your own usual, as always. All hail Biafra and Oduduwa. Thank you for the job. Nigeria is on the stage 4 cancer. Deep. Please click the like button. Deep. You know something that you'll be like, ah, or more. You cannot put something on nothing. Oh my God, that's very deep. Oh my God. They say, ah, oh, yeah, deep. Word. Criminals can never do anything legally. It is wrong or foolish of you to expect career criminals to do things legally. Ah, word. Mayegun, very deep. It's a deep, stage 4 cancer. Baba, no cure now. Well, thank you, by the way, for dropping that, I would say. So, with what we have actually, you know what I mean? Somebody is talking about Aisha Shakpa and the rest of that. The bottom line is this. Bad leadership doesn't work in anybody's interest. Bad government, bad leadership. Everyone will be a victim of it, including those who are praising them or supporting them. In my world, politicians who have proven time and again that politicians are all talks, no actions, cannot promise you something that you can hold on to. Or like, why would you even put yourself in that situation where you'll be like, let us give them a benefit of the doubt. I mean, let us give them a chance. Let us give them time. Babasho wine any. The other day they captured the one they made the minister of power. The minister of power, don't they tell Nigerians that I beg Mokuna no they cost us, I beg no they cost the NEPA people. Please. But guess what? The drama around I'll say this here. Nigeria is mostly underdeveloped because there is an intentional effort to ensure that things remain what they are right now. There is no effort in actually getting them better. Okay, they may continue to put up different shows that looks like they wanted to do something. They are not doing anything per se. Okay, now under Buhari, they promised you 10,000 megawatts every year, and in the first 4 years, Buhari was going to generate 40,000 megawatts and ensure that 30,000 megawatts is distributed efficiently and successfully to improve production in Nigeria. You see all this fuel subsidy, blah, 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 that you are talking about. If electricity in Nigeria should be stable across Nigeria, the price of petroleum that everybody is kind of scamming you off right now, it will naturally collapse. The demand for that petrol will collapse. And when the demand for it collapses, it automatically puts a lot of money in your pockets. A lot of money. A lot of you have no idea what you will be saving if Nigeria electricity is stable. Now, they have made Nigerians so poor. There are stable electricity right now in Nigeria. Nigerians cannot afford that. Can you even believe that? Mayegu Nigeria needs 24 hours electricity. Of course you do. That's exactly what will kind of reboot or boost up your economy, of course. But unfortunately, you have become so poor. They have destroyed your economy so terribly that if they give you 24 hours electricity, a lot of you will not be able to afford it. You will end up having to disconnect yourself from that electricity for a long time. I mean, they've destroyed your purchasing power as a people, destroyed your naira. The other day, somebody was arguing on social media, where a lot of them were arguing. They were talking about a whole family in Nigeria could feed with $2, which actually makes sense, okay? $1 in Nigeria is 920 naira. So $2 would be somewhere around there, 1,840 naira. That would be $2. Of course, a whole family can feed on that for a meal. In America, $2 cannot feed a family of 5. You are so right. But why are you so deluded that you have to be so proud in converting $2 to 1,840 naira in value? All right? And not $2 to 2 naira. Why can't you use 2 naira to feed the entire family? Or use 2 naira. Okay? Okay, in America, if you have $2, you probably will buy a loaf of bread. Okay? In Nigeria, what can you buy with 2 naira? So talking about value here now, right? The value. So $1 at 900, a pound sterling at 1,200. These have already devalued what you could say what your naira could get you. And with that, when you see people who easily kind of jump at now, she in America, how much is all those ridiculous questions. I'm trying to make some of them up in my head right now, and they are not really coming right. Ridiculous questions that in Nigeria, where they have devalued your naira to God knows, you don't even know how worse it's going to get as well. But if they manage to give you 24 hours electricity to start with, your industries powered, your offices and businesses powered, your what do you call those MTN masts, telecommunication masts that are powered by generator are now powered by the proper electricity. That can rejig the economy, where you get the right paying job. A lot of you actually working. But they won't do it. 8 years after Buhari, Nigeria is generating 10,000 megawatt electricity, they said. And Nigeria is distributing 2,000 megawatt electricity to 220 million people. Baba. So they now brought this guy whose emergence is more political than merit. When you merit something, when Ajirebi was alive, the former governor of Oyo State, I forgot his, he called himself Senator Ajirebi. There's a name for him again. Hey, why did I forget his first name? You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, he died because of the COVID that time. But he nominated this guy in 2019, the son to Peculiar Mercy, Benkele Mercy, Adebayo. Now, he has a first name. I know his name is Ajirebi, but there's a first name. There's a first name. No, Ajirebi, and there's something about his first name. I don't know how that kind of Abiola Ajirebi, God bless you. Abiola Ajirebi. So he was meant to be the political godson to Ajirebi at the time. Now, somehow, Solo Makinde emerged in 2019. When Seyi Solo Makinde became the governor, this Bayo became a big sort of problem for them in APC in Oyo State. Long story short, by 2023, Adebayo have already left. Yeah, Isiaka, Abiola, Ajirebi. A lot of you are so smart. I don't know why you kept repeating Ajumobi, Ajumobi. She must have been me omo Ajumobi ni. Opeyola Ajirebi, she rope me omo Ajumobi ni. Ask the people of who Makpami. You shall know who I'm talking about. Isiaka Ajirebi. So he couldn't make him the governor, right? And Buhari didn't make him a minister too. So by 2023, he left APC for that Folari. Folari was like you know, the new Don who was going to kick Solo Makinde out. But Solo Makinde already entrenched himself in the heart of the people with policies that actually touches them. Their politics couldn't change. And you know how it all went, eh? At the end of the day, it was the Oyo people who retired this guy. But where was Adebayo, the former APC governorship candidate in Oyo? He was also the governorship candidate of Accord Party in 2023. He ran against his own party to be the governor for your state, by the way. When the rest of them were singing, on your mandate we shall die, on your pampas we shall shout, on your mandate, on your pampas, Bola, on your diapers we shall shout. When they were singing all of that around your states, Adebayo was with Accord, telling them, Oshekini olule, Oshekeji olule, Ebabajeko sheketa, because o matun lule, that's for learning. I mean, I'm just trying to let you understand what went on, what really goes down with these guys, right? Folani lule, be, Wogboni, Oke Bola, Ibadan. It was massive. Then his supporters were everywhere like, okay, I mean, he did so well. Asiwaju won Oyo State. Asiwaju Awagbewiri is going to compensate Folani. Folani was waiting to be compensated. But Asiwaju Awole, Thiefnubu. But from nowhere, I don't know what happened. It was the same Adebayo that left them that got nominated. They were so fuming and furious. They were fuming. They were angry. I was reading them on social media. Asiwaju must correct this thing. This is a shitting. Asiwaju is a person that we know that is a good leader. Asiwaju, you must know that Folani did his best. She madini. Asiwaju awon gbewiri the senale demented Thiefnubu. Pablo Escobar. He has everybody for every role. And if you are not going to play that role, you are not needed. Okay, hang on. Folani went solo. Decided to keep quiet. And the day Adebayo returned to Oyo, you go to say, na tribunal declare him winner of Oyo State Governor 2023. He started going everywhere to say, congratulations, congratulations, God bless you, congratulations, you have brought Orire to Oyo State. In fact, you are a great politician. Asiwaju knows that you are the original, not Folani. Few months ago, all of them won't kill people for Folani. You won't kill people for Thiefnubu. Person can't leave you, go, come back, come become the hero. Adebayo is the hero, and he is also the minister of power. Briefly. Ile lo lo, ile lo lo tarara. Adebayo rele o, ile lo. Sorry. Oma bile soro kile lanu kabo. If he was in Ijebu, that's the song we'll sing for him. Kabo, 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 kabo. Oma bile soro kile lanu kabo. Otide o, kabo, otide o. Do you know why they all go to churches and mosques to do Thanksgiving when they are given political appointment? Do you know why? It's our turn to chop. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Minister of power. Oloma to bilobao. God is great too. Haberi. Look at God. Everybody is happy because, number one, they will get contracts. They will get jobs that they don't have to go there. And they will get paid. Everybody's, look at those happiness. It's not because it's going to bring light or it's going to bring power. Power is, Nigeria is going to have electricity now. No. Well, you just do your own, Jerry. You don't kill yourself for Nigeria. They are not happy because it's going to come with this beautiful expertise or idea that is going to light up Nigeria. No. Let you concern us with now power will go shop. They are happy that finally the 2023 political gamble paid off. He is a minister. He's going to be a minister. And when people started complaining that, oh, Benny, they dance here and there. This one, they are hosting meeting here. They are congratulating him everywhere. He's going to everybody, all in all political, he called them political leaders in your state. He's going to them so that they can congratulate Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic, Honorable Minister is here for power. Honorable Minister, what can you say to us today? They gave him a microphone, and guess what he told them? My people, thank you so much for the honor. Thank you so much for all of the happiness. And according to the presidiot, the commander-in-chief of the fraudster Republic of Nigeria, or fraudulent people Republic of Nigeria, Pablo Escobar Thiefnubu, I want to say we are grateful for honoring me, your son, to be your minister. But I want to tell you something, my people. I want to tell you something. Please, can you stop cursing the NEPA people, please? Minister, why? No, I'm just like, I'm now a power minister. If you curse the NEPA and curse all of them, they are not going to be able to do their job. And the courses and all of that is affecting the lights. So, can you do that for me? Can you tell people that they should stop cursing? I promise you, you are going to have electricity. 50,000 megawatts. I'll give you 50,000 megawatts. So, stop abusing us. Stop cursing us. As I Minister of Power. I know. Look at you. You are waiting for the video. Mayegun, show us that video. I want to hear that video because maybe that's not how he said it. That's how he said it. And I'm not going to show you the video. Okay? You know why? My time is up. My time is up. So, the only thing here is that I promised you that I was going to take calls next time. But tonight we've been you've heard the updates, you've heard the ones that made you laugh and the rest of that. So I am going to also say that let's start the phone calls and all that tomorrow. When something's so huge, those tension one, where the tension. The one that you'll be sitting down there and you can't wait for Mayegun to open the line. Tonight, all of you are just going to call in and say, oh, Mayegun, well done. Mayegun, this or that. I know I shouldn't be pre-emptying you, okay? But I'm going to say thank you, at least for spending your evening with me again tonight. If you join us midway, you can watch this broadcast video from the start again. And if you have been with me all night, don't forget, like the broadcast. And this week, may this week favor you. Oh yeah, say amen. That's from the GO to you. I will see you some other time. Stay safe and have a wonderful week. Good night. Like that.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun diary, diary political.
Mayegun diary.
kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na him be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí presidiot bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.